Hey guys, welcome back to Fretline Studios. Today we're going to be looking at the G minor chord on the guitar. So there's a few different areas you can play it across the fretboard, but we're going to be focusing mainly on the 3rd fret sort of position and the open position, purely because that, as a beginner, that's where you're going to be playing it the most, and they're good sort of areas to get involved in learning with your chords, because generally you'll be going from other chords into there, so a lot easier. There's a few variations how to play it in those positions. So what I will do is show you the most common way first, which is a G minor bar chord. I'll then show you a couple of slight variations on that bar chord, and then I will throw in one at the end which just stretches your fingers a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for a beginner, but stick with it, you will get it. It's worth learning because it gives you another variation, slightly different sound to the G minor chord as well. Okay, so let's dive right in. Right, so the first version, which is the most common version you're going to come across, is the G minor bar chord. So what we're going to do is take a first finger, form a bar across at the 3rd fret, across all 6 strings. We're then going to take our 3rd finger, put that on the A string at the 5th fret, and then we're going to take our little pinky, put that on the 5th fret on the D string, and then we're going to just play all 6 strings. Just like that, there's your G minor chord. It's important when you learn any chord, for the first time especially, until you get it right and clean, that when you get your fingers into position, you then just play each string individually. Just make sure all the strings, all the notes are ringing out cleanly. You don't want any sort of muted notes, anything sounding like that, because that's not right. If you get that, just take your finger off the fretboard and start again. Go really, really slowly. So bar 1st finger, 3rd finger 5th fret on the A string, full finger 5th fret on the D string, and then try it again. And that way, when you get it all ringing out individually, when it comes to strumming, you know you're getting every single note ringing clearly, and you'll hear that within the chord as you're strumming. Okay, so that's the most popular way of playing the G minor chord. There is a couple of slight variations which may be slightly easier for a beginner. So we do a mini bar with the 1st finger at the 3rd fret, and that is across the G, the B and the E string there. And then we can take our little pinky, put that on the 5th fret on the D string, and then we just play these 4 strings here. We don't play these top 2, just these 4. That's a slight variation of how to play the G minor chord. As you can hear, it's higher pitched because you don't play these 2 strings here. You don't have those 2 bass notes sort of ringing through in the chord. So it does give you a variation, but it does change, if you like, the sound of the G minor chord. A variation on that is when you're playing with your thumb over the top. You notice on that one I have my thumb behind, sort of supporting the neck. A good variation, if you're playing like that, you might be doing some lead work where you've got your thumb over the top. Just again, you can bar across those bottom 3 strings there, the G, the B and the E string, and then you can use your 3rd finger if you can stretch that to the 5th fret on that D string, and then you just play them 4 strings again. So it's exactly the same as the last one I showed you, but instead of using your little pinky there, you're just using the 3rd finger. Nice alternative, especially when you're playing sort of lead work. If you're playing around the G pattern here, it's easy then to go back into a chord if you wanted to. So that's a couple of variations on the most popular way of playing the G minor chord. There is another way. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's a good one to learn. It's a bit of a more of a fun chord, this one. And what we're going to do is take our 1st finger, put that on the 1st fret on the A string. We're then going to stretch our 2nd finger. Now this is why it's a stretch, because you're missing out that fret there. You're going over to the 3rd fret. You're putting that on the E string there. Then we're going to take our 3rd finger, put that on the B string, and then we're going to take at the 3rd fret, and then we're going to take our little pinky, put that on the E string, also at the 3rd fret. So you end up with a chord shape that looks like that. So this bit here is a bit of a stretch. And again, you just play all 6 strings. And that is another variation on the G minor chord. Bit of a challenge, bit of a stretch. That bit there is the difficult part. But hey, give it a go. Drop me a comment, see if you get on okay with that. Okay, so that is the G minor chord. I hope that helps you out. Why not drop me a comment, let me know how you're getting on with it. And yeah, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks guys.